Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at the Battletech Beginner Box, a reimagined new beginner box, which is upcoming to coincide with the launch of their new third wave of mechs, all themed around mercenaries. So this box typically is designed to be an entry-level explanation of the vast amount of information there is out there for the Battletech universe. If you're not familiar with Battletech, this would be a great place to start, and it gives you sort of a concise Cole's Notes, the story so far. So if you haven't been playing since this was the rulebook, this rulebook's from '85, and the rules haven't changed very much. There's maybe been like a 2 to 3% rules drift in almost 40 years. This would be a great way for you to get into it. It's designed to be 25 bucks, and it's from Catalyst Game Labs, sold typically through booksellers and big vendors and stuff like that. And it's one of their bookshelf series, so it comes with everything you need to play the game in one box and give it a go. So let's crack it open and have a look. Brand new art on the front here with the Vindicator. That's the new mech that's in this box. Previously, this box contained a Griffin and a Wolverine, with the Griffin being the more limited of the two and the Wolverine being the standard one in the box, kind of everyone had access to. Now, if you are a veteran like Battletech player, I'm sure that Vindicator will be available in the crowdfund with the new wave of mechs. So don't get too jealous and covetous. All right, what's in here? I love this. I think this is a great way of separating out the background. This is actually a narrative story that takes you in and basically explains like mech combat. It even gives you some diagrams, like a jump ship, a drop ship, a locust, a wolverine, a catapult, and a shadowhawk. And it tells you a little story. So it's just like a combat story by William Keith, and gives you like a peek into the background. You've got some of these mech record sheets. I love these. I wish I could have these for every single mech in the game. Now, there are, of course, the black and white photocopyable ones. You can also put them in dry erase markers and stuff like that. But both this and the Game of Armored Combat box came with these full color little slidey ones that you can just put in like a dry erase sheet. I love them so much. They're so cool. They don't have certain things on them, like there's no heat tracking in this. It's a bit stripped down rules wise. You don't have to worry about that stuff. But some core information's on here that's really handy. So you get your locust, the Griffin, another Griffin, the 1N and the 1S, so two different styles. There's the Vindicator, the 1R, SIC, one SIC, and then a Thunderbolt, which is a heavier one, so a 65-ton mech, and the 5SE and the 5S. So handy little record sheets. Now, if you are a veteran Battletech player, you're probably noticing that there's nothing on here for heat. It's because this box doesn't use that, doesn't track that information, just to get people introduced to the game. You get some special mech pilot cards. Now, these are usually used in Alpha Strike, but can be used in other things too. Of course, it's Topps, so printing cards is their jam. If you don't know who Topps is, if you're an international person that doesn't necessarily collect baseball cards or hockey cards or football cards, they're a major U.S. Like trading card company and have been for years, and they currently own the Battletech property. So some characters, some pilots basically for the background. We got a House Davian, House Steiner, House Lau, another House Davian, another Lau, Kurita, and Lau. And then the miniatures, sweet. All right, so this looks like the same Griffin that came in the previous starter set, but then we also have this Vindicator. Super nice. It's done in this hard hips plastic that's being done and I think manufactured overseas. But I mean, the sculpting is impeccable. The one thing that kept me out of Battletech for so many years was the actual miniatures. And I have probably painted more. I would say that since they've redone the Battletech miniatures, I've painted more Battletech miniatures in the last year than almost any other game. I've painted full reinforced company of Clan Wolf. I painted an entire Donegal Guards, 2 lances. I painted a reinforced company of Grey Death Legion. I painted a reinforced company of Emerald Jade Falcons. Who else? And I painted a giant reinforced company of Taurian Concordat because I've been all bad guys for some reason, sort of. But the idea here is that each of you gets a mech and you can play a 2-player duel. So basically the easiest way to get into classic Battletech is with just like each player piloting one mech, and both these mechs are roughly the same tonnage. with the loadouts they have and the cards that you're given. So you've got a nice balanced fight between the Griffin and the Vindicator. Some dice, because you really just need 2d6 in this game if you're playing classic Battletech. Now, there are rules, of course, for Alpha Strike, and these models are absolutely Alpha Strike compatible. And you can get the quick start Alpha Strike rules on the internet, too. But you get a nice pair of d6s. Hey, look, they roll a 6. What's this? Get that. All right, quick start rules. So again, it's funny because honestly, like, this is the complete classic Battletech Game of Armored Combat rule. Oh, no, that's the record sheet. I grabbed the wrong one. This is the complete classic Battletech rules. The entire rule book, including like technical data and a bunch of like advanced rules, is like 30 pages. Like, ironically, apart from like the corner case and situations and stuff like that, even the full rules for the game, and this is the original rule book, which is pretty much still valid. There's like more additional rules now, but all the core stuff in there is pretty much the same. Boils down to not that many pages. So it says quick start rules, but you really are learning all the core mechanics you need to know here about moving, how to generate your attack number and gator, all your modifiers, how to roll cluster hits for rockets and missiles, how to resolve damage, and even a scenario. So if you've never played before, the whole thing plays on a hex map, which is also available in here. Right, and you're gonna have your movement allowance. So let's say I'm playing as the Wolverine, not the Wolverine, the Griffin or the Vindicator. So the Vindicator is gonna be able to walk 4, run 6, or jump 6. He's actually got a jump movement, which is cool. He's a 45-ton medium mech. That means that when he's moving his hexes, those 4 movement points can be used to turn and move ahead. You can also move backwards, but it costs you additional points of movement. Different hex types like grass or trees and stuff can cost additional movement and stuff too. And when you're jumping, you're just getting placed, but having to move through all that terrain and stuff like that. But there's additional penalties and stuff to shooting and getting shot at. So it is more board game oriented when it comes to the table surface than a lot of miniature games. And here's the map actually I think provided, which is in here. And the scenario you get some promo material, sweet. Oh, you get more cardboard standees. So even if you don't, and it's funny, the original box that old, almost 40-year-old rulebook came with nothing but cardboard standees. Dozens and dozens and dozens of them, because that's how you played. You've got some terrain, so poppable terrain, so you can place additional terrain if you want and change your map up, which is actually nice. And the standees actually stand. You get little slotted stand-ups. Oh, and they fit nice too. There's a Thunderbolt, and now I can play. And it even has, look, front and rear, so you know what the facing of it is. So you can play right out of this box with 10 mechs if you want to. You have additional Vindicators, an additional Griffin, 2 Thunderbolts, 2 Locusts. Yeah, and you've got the stack cards for them too. So you could play a full lance-on-lance fight out of this box just using the standees and stuff, which I think is actually really cool. And one of the things I want to do is when I review the original, Game of Armored Combat box. I want to compare the then to now and just how far we've come, like, component-wise. And there you go. There's a Griffin. We'll put it next to the other Griffin. Not bad. I mean, if he was standing up on a base, he'd actually be the same height, I'm pretty sure. Right? So you get your terrain. Yep. And again, this is in like really nice hard card. Like, that's not flimsy. That's like 5mm card. That's a really good card stock. And it's matte too, which is nice. And then you get your mat. And your gaming mat is actually matte as well. I keep saying the word matte, but I'm meaning it multiple ways. This is a which is which kind of thing. So it's a matte surface. See how it's not reflective? My overhead lights aren't actually bouncing off of it. And there's a desert side and a wooded side. Now, gaming companies, take note. This is how to print a gaming mat. If your box set is going to come with a gaming mat and it's on paper like this, it doesn't matter if the paper's thin. Actually, that's better. The creases will lay flatter. It's less likely to bubbling up. And look at the finish on that paper. It's just perfect. The miniatures look great on it. You could probably print in even bigger sizes because it's not on some like glossy finished stuff. I hate when the paper's like this, when it's on a gaming mat and I can see all my overhead lights reflected off the gaming mat, right? It's more like this box where you're like, ah, look, there's all Ash's lights in the background. That's how you make a gaming mat. That finish is what I want to see on every gaming mat in the future. And it's a standard size paper mat, so you can play your game no problem. It's like basically 4 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper put together and all folded up. Then you get this. Well, you get some promo, so that's cool. You get some Iron Man Metals promo for the classic metal miniatures. So you can see all the originals. Not even originals, just reimaginings in metal. And this guy, the Instant Guide to the Inner Sphere, summing up 40 years of history. So, who is everybody and where are they from? The Inner Sphere, generally where we live, around Earth. House Steiner, Comstar, House Merrick, House Lau, House Davian, and House Corrida, which are the 5 houses that make up the Inner Sphere after the collapse of the Star League. Then you have Comstar. They're basically what's left of the Star League's like technical infrastructure. They became kind of a cult, and they get weirder as time goes on. This is 3025, so this is prior to the clan invasion. This is what everything looked like. And then, what's a battle mech and who's a mech warrior? Battle mechs are big robots. At 3025, we kind of barely understand how they work anymore. They're all kind of falling apart. This is post-Succession Wars, and during the period in which like the technology is vaguely being reacquired, but isn't super well understood. So you're cannibalizing them for parts and stuff like that too. And then mech warriors, the people that pilot them. Anyways, for 12 generations, armies of battle mechs have clashed across more than 2,000 colonized planet. The year is 3025, and the scars of the Third Succession War remain fresh. All 5 houses have paused their military campaigns in hopes of rebuilding their armies. Whether wet behind the ears, recruits, or grizzled veterans, mercenaries are the wild card that can tip the balance in combat. These mech warriors run the razor's edge between legend and destruction and possess the necessary skills and right amount of luck to snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat. So the idea here is it's set around the time when mercenary companies are super important and puts you in the driver's seat for one. So I'll be honest, this is a really good deal for 25 bucks. I get that you only get 2 miniatures, but how well thought out everything else is, right? Like from the terrain to the fact that you're getting 10 additional cardstock miniatures. If you were just gonna try the game and want some replayability, if it wasn't for this, right, where you got 10 extra guys, this would probably get boring, right? Just playing a duel between these 2 mechs over and over again, there's not a lot of replayability here. But just with what comes in this box, you've got a ton of lance combinations and enough information with all these different vehicle cards that you could play this over a weekend or a week and not have the same game twice and have a fun experience and a great introduction to Battletech. Now, what's cool is there's so much online for free for Battletech, from all the Alpha Strike cards, the core mechanics and the rules for Alpha Strike 2, so if you want to play with lots of miniatures and play with a more fast play game, if the kind of like dueling, hyper-focused in detail, core classic Battletech, you know, isn't so much from you, or you just want to play with a bigger part of your collection when going forward, that's free there. And yeah, and it's really well supported even information wise. Like Sarna.net has all the background material you could possibly want if you can't wade through all the novels, and you'll definitely either make up or find a faction that you're gonna like. I love the matte thing. I know I gushed over it. I love these. I love the play assets in here too, and you can just laminate these if you want to play with them more than once. Obviously, because they're well, this one has a history on. This one just had a picture. That's neat. The different one does. So one has art on the back. So like one Thunderbolt has art on the back. The other one has the history of the mech. I didn't notice that before. That's cool. It's like where it's made, how many tons it is. That's a neat piece of history. I wonder if they're all like that. They probably are. That's got a dropship on it. So that Locust has a dropship. Yep. And then the other one has the actual Locust info on it. And then the same with the Griffin. Oh, that's really cool. I like that a lot, actually. I like that they give you the history of each of the mechs. So there's a lot to sink your teeth in here. If you're just, you know, you got 25 bucks, you want to try a new game, I feel like this is priced at the appropriate level to be like, huh, I never tried this before. And you could play a bunch of different encounters and have enough info in this box to give you an idea what the game's about. You can have this little novella, which I think is neat. That's a great way of doing background and giving you an idea of like who the major players and stuff in the thing are. So I think it's priced great. I think it has tons of like, I guess there's like hooks, narrative hooks, gaming hooks, and even modeling hooks for you to try and play your games. And then of course it's Battletech. There's 40 years of stuff after what's here for you to go and explore. So many deep waters to swim in when it comes to lore, background, and games. So there it is. Thanks so much to Catalyst for a advanced, complimentary copy for you guys to check out a review of the beginner's box. You can, of course, pick out the current beginner's box with the Griffin and the Wolverine today. You can probably find it at your local bookseller or Amazon. And if you want to check out this new one, it should be launching around the same time as their third wave Kickstarter for the Mercenaries. Big thanks for watching. We'll see you for more GMG reviews in the future. It's not an Ash. Have a good Hey there, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are tons of other games already recorded for you to watch. Click over to my channel page if you haven't already, and have a look through the dozens of playlists full of videos. I guarantee you'll discover a game you haven't seen played before. I put out new videos 7 days a week, and every day is themed to a different genre as I continue to explore the wider world of gaming. Of course, none of that's possible without you, the viewer, so click a like and subscribe if you'd like to stay on top of what's happening here daily. My two kids and I are massively grateful to be able to have the flexibility of this job so I can always maximize my time with them. If you want to support me continue to put out this content, it's only possible because of my amazing backers on Patreon who support the studio, equipment, and model cost, as well as being how I make the bulk of my living. You can also help out by buying a t-shirt through Spreadshirt, a measuring gauge or widget from Death Ray Designs, or buying one of my games and supplements like Last Days, Gamma Wolves, and Blaster. As a way of showing my appreciation, patrons get early access to new games and supplements that I write throughout the course of the year. Huge thanks for watching, it really does help out, and happy gaming.